here to welcome us.
Hey everybody, we're really excited that you're here and hope that this is meaningful to you guys as you take things back to your school. I do know how valuable our tech folks are, Cindy and Melissa and Kathy and Gordon and all those people. It means a lot to us. It's a big reason to me, to our success, and I'm sure you're a big reason for your success at your school. So I hope this is a great time of sharing information, stealing information, and all those things that we all want to do to make our schools better. So I hope it's a great experience for you guys. If we can ever do anything for y'all here at PDS, please let us know. If you'll do me one favor, it's a sunny day, it's Friday. We every now and then we'll have a few boys try to go AWOL on these days. So if you see a boy out there by himself, alert the media. For the teachers that do that, we got some sharpshooters on the roof with tranquilizer gun now. I hope y'all have a great time today and enjoy yourselves, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, good morning. I'm so glad to see the sun. It just changes my whole attitude about everything. So the link is here for the February minutes. Do we have anybody willing to approve the February minutes? Jane and Lynn, seconds. Great. Lena, would you like to do the treasurer's report?
The only difference is a deposit of $30 from last month, so the current balance is $1,217.51.
Were you able to figure out that discrepancy last time?
I haven't looked at it. I mean, it was $18 in our favor, so I figure it's in our favor, but we've been doing testing and things like that has occupied my time greatly.
Just if you have pager dues, just make sure your name's on the list for the schools that are paying that we have here. Attendance is there. It comes up to October, so make sure you slide it on over to March to sign your name because you'll be locked out from the other months. All right, this morning we're going to start with our presentation and then we're going to move into some other business. Lynn is going to be talking about Teach Point, which is a professional development tool, and it helps with evaluations for teachers. And I'm going to let her come up and take over. All right, get it up real quick.
Okay, this is Teach Point. This is our second year to use Teach Point at Briarcrest. Last year, we used it. There it goes. Let's just take a second. Working? Do I need to do something? Who's your PDS here? Who can help me? My computer says it's gonna. There it goes. There it goes.
I just need to stand by.
Yeah, it did. It did. That happens all the time to all of us, doesn't it? Walk into a room and it just works. Okay, so let me go ahead and go to Teach Point. Let me explain to you what Teach Point is. Here's the reason we started moving towards it. I actually was looking for something to keep up with our PD. That's where we started doing it. Simply because now that the state of Tennessee has gone digital for all of its licensing, all of our teachers have to have certificates they can upload for every single PD they want to count towards their relicensing. Okay? Well, plus I have to keep up with everybody's PD. We have to do 6 hours, all this kind of stuff. So I started looking for something online because I'd been using an Access database, and it was just getting too overwhelming, way too much stuff. So I looked into this, and it was fabulous. Everybody loved it last year. Then our teachers, our principals, started using Google Drive for all of the evaluation process stuff. It was just too overwhelming having to share it with this and then unshare and then share and then unshare so the teachers don't mess with it, all that kind of stuff. So we decided to go with the evaluation tool this year. Our principals and administration, I think it's one of the best things we've ever done across the board at our school is go to this evaluation tool. So I'm actually going to show you the evaluation tool first so that you can see what it looks like, and then we'll go into the PD part. The PD part is actually a very small part. So when you log into TeachPoint, and what we do, every single teacher has access. I created all the users once we went in there. This part right here, this little guy, is the evaluation tool part. And once you go into here, teachers have the option to do stuff, and administrators have the option to do stuff. Okay, what I did is I sent the company all of our evaluation things that we had on paper. They recreated all of them for me. I didn't even have to do it. They did it all for me and made it the way it looks now. That I went in and added some other stuff that we wanted. They would have done it if I'd sent it to them, but it was easy enough for me to do it, so I did it. So when a teacher logs in, they actually go to this little guy and they hit the new button. We've got all of these forms in here. We've got a classroom observation form, which is evaluator initiated. Then we've got a walkthrough classroom observation form that's also evaluator initiated, and a summative evaluation report, which is also evaluator initiated. Then the teachers have a fine arts pre-observation conference form, a pre-observation conference form, and a post-observation conference form. They fill these out before their formal observation, not the walkthroughs, okay? So they have to do it really only once throughout the year, because most people only have one formal. Some people have more, but it all depends. If you're being really observed for the year, you have 3 for that year. Then every single teacher, we used to have a notebook where everybody had to keep all their certificates in a notebook, and they had to type out a thing that was their mission statement and philosophy of Christian education, and their classroom management plan, their reflection record, and their self-improvement plan. All of that went into a notebook. And every year they'd take out the oldest year and then put in all the newest stuff. And that's where they kept all their certificates to be able to send in to the state and all that kind of stuff. We don't do any of the notebooks anymore. Everything is on here. So let's say I'm a teacher and I'm ready to write my reflection record. I just click on reflection record. It's going to open up, and this is the reflect. I actually created all of these myself, and it's going. It's just taking a minute. Once it gets there, all I have to do, if I've already got my reflection record, all I do is go in and copy and paste it in here, then I can adjust it from year to year. And I did, as the administrator of all this, it's really nice. I went in and set our teaching observations, our teaching, if you're officially evaluated for the year, you guys know what that means. If you're officially evaluated, it's every 3 years for everybody. I went in and set the cycles for everybody. So this knows, this is my first year of my cycle, this is my second year, this is my third year, or this is back to my first year again. Okay? It's giving me an error message. Then all I do, I can come in here for my reflection record. It says, please describe at least one classroom student experience that worked well this year. I just type it up. I can click on this attachment form and attach anything I need if I want to make some attachments. Let's say I'm doing the one for classroom management. I can go take a picture of my classroom rules and stuff like that and stick those in here if I want to. I can even do a video and attach a video, because you can attach anything you want to. I can also, if I don't want to attach it to these individual parts, I can attach it to the whole thing down here at the bottom. And you can do that with anything in TeachPoint. You'll see this little paper clip on everything. So you can attach just about anything you want. Okay, so this is what it looks like for them. Whenever I'm done, I just save it, and the principals can just go see it. Whenever I'm done, I have to go share it. So once I share it, then any evaluator who can evaluate me can see it at that point. Okay, and let me go over that real quick. As the administrator over the whole thing, I go and set who can evaluate whom. Okay, and I can say, can that person just evaluate you, or can they see all of your evaluations? Because you can make it where they can only evaluate you, or they can actually see everything. We make it to where our evaluators, if they're evaluating you, all evaluators can see every evaluation for that one teacher. And so I just go up in the preferences and say, okay, These are our lead teachers who do evaluations, and they each have permission for each of these specific people, which is nice. Let's see here. So let me go in. Let's say I am about to go observe. I'm just going to use sample teacher. I'm logged in as me, so you can see my name right up here at the very top. I'm going to go into sample teacher right here, and I am going to say that I'm going to observe that person. Okay, and I'm going to do an official walkthrough, which is the classroom observation form. So I'm going to hit new, and I'm going to say I'm going to do a classroom observation on that teacher. I would go in. I don't have to worry about any of this right now, okay? But I do want to hit this play button as soon as it starts. That starts the timer to say, okay, I'm starting it, and it starts it, and then you end it whenever the whole classroom time is done, your observation time is done. I'm going to go ahead and put my time in, just in case something weird happens with the timing, because that just tells you how much time has elapsed, not when it started and ended. And we just put these fields in here. So I would put this, I would put, whenever I'm done, put my time out.
So you are creating all the fields that are on here, you customize it to what you
Actually, I didn't do it, I sent it to the company and they just did it all.
But still, your school decided.
Yeah, we decided, and this was based off of the paper forms that we had already used.
That's
All
awesome.
right, then I can say, is this at the beginning, middle, or end? A lot of times it's all three. If you're there for the whole lesson, you're going to be there at the beginning, middle, and end of the lesson. All right, then all I do as the evaluator as I'm doing stuff is I just check the boxes. Then if there's something specific for this area, I just go and type whatever needs to be typed right there. Okay, I can also attach something. So, and you can go back later and finish this. So let's say a teacher gave the students some handouts. I'll get those handouts and they can either send it to me digitally or I can just scan them in and just go attach them to this. Okay, and I would go and do the exact same thing for each one of these sections. Okay, just evaluate, do whatever I need to do. All right, type up anything I need to type. And it is really, really cool with, and it doesn't work with this one, but it does through the walkthrough. Whenever you were typing, because most of our evaluators take their laptop in and they're sitting there typing the whole time. And it saves them. That's one thing you love about this. They don't have to then go back to their office and type everything up. They're typing it as they go right there, which is one, yeah, that thing isn't always fun.
I'm sorry, Facebook Live.
That's one thing that they love about this. Whenever they are finished, they're going to, and finish with the whole thing. And that means they've gone back, put everything in that they wanted to do. They're going to sign this. Okay? It says I have to answer everything, so it's not going to let me right now. And that way we make sure that you don't forget a section. You have to at least mark one thing in every single section before it's all said and done. Once it's done, it's going to ask you if you want to share it. If you don't want to share it yet, you say no with the teacher. Once you sign this, either as a teacher or an evaluator, it closes it and nobody can edit it at that point. Okay?
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, just,
Who's laughing at me? Who's laughing at me? Okay, I'm just gonna hold it.
All right, so once it is signed, that is really a security feature to keep the evaluator from putting something in afterwards or the teacher from putting something in afterwards, okay? The only people that can edit it at that point is Teach Point. I, as the evaluator, as the administrator of the whole thing, would have to call and say, okay, these people made a mistake in this. Can we go add this or take this away? And that's the only way to do it. I can't even do it myself. Then, once the teacher gets it, let me show you this real quick. This is what's really cool. And this is what was frustrating with using Google Docs. Once the administrator sends it, a pencil shows up showing that they have signed it. Once the teacher has done it, it shows two pencils to show that they have each signed it. Okay, and if a teacher has done a reflection, it'll also, the S shows share, and if the teacher has typed up a reflection, it's going to have something right here under the reflection column as well. Okay, and if someone has attached something, you'll see right here, there's a little paper clip showing how many things were attached to that. And you get so much space for free after you use that up. I think you have to pay, but their amounts, I mean, it's like like hardly any money at all they charge for their stuff. And they give you so much space to begin with. We haven't run into it. And we've even been attaching videos and stuff like that. So this has been absolutely just wonderful. Now, let me show you this. This is what makes it really cool. As an evaluator, you can go into these reports. And there are all sorts of reports you can do. So I'm going to go to the reports. So let's say you had 3 people, because if you are being officially, if it's your year for evaluation, you have 3 people, then you also have probably 5 or 6 walkthroughs, because people do walkthroughs all year. I do walkthroughs. That's the only thing I do is walkthroughs, because I've told them I want to keep my good rapport with the teachers. I don't want to evaluate teachers, okay? Because if I evaluate them, that's going to could cause some conflict. I don't want that conflict. I just want that good rapport with them, because I feel like my main job is relationship building on campus. And so that's what I do, is just build relationships with all 251 employees. All right, so I am going to go right here to detailed report. I can do it by evaluator, I can do it by evaluee, but this detailed report is absolutely wonderful. I went in to a meeting where all 3 evaluators had already evaluated one of the people this year, and they had some questions, so I was in there with them. They were able to pull up this report, and I'm going to go, let's see, I'm going to do a detailed report. I'm going to do the observation form, and I'm going to do sample teacher, and I'm going to generate the report. So what it does is it shows me everything and how many people saw that during that lesson. So this shows me, okay, there were 3 people who evaluated this person. All 3 people saw this right here. Okay, no one saw this right here. Okay, now this is just a fictitious person, and we just randomly marking stuff, so don't pay attention to what's been marked and what hasn't. Then if there is text, you just click right here, and it'll show you the text that was typed. And look, it even put the text I put just a minute ago, March 2nd, and it even tells the exact time that comment was typed up there. Okay, and so it shows you exactly how many people did each one of those. And you can come down here and show any other comments down here at the very bottom. Oh, and here's what I was going to tell you. This is what's cool. In our walkthrough form, and they could do it with this, but we'll have to redo it this summer when no one's using these forms. If you just put T did blah, 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 or S did blah, 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 it automatically fills it in. Then it keeps all the T's together for teacher, all the S's together for what the students did, and you can sort it out. It really is truly innovative how it works for this evaluation. I'm just telling you, this has just been wonderful this year. I can tell you how fabulous it is. But you've got all these other things that you can do as well. All sorts of reports and things like that. So let me go to the PD tracking tool. The PD tracking tool, we use it for signing up for any types of workshops. Do you guys have workshops that you do for your teachers where they have to sign up for something? We do everything through here. So what I do I'm going to go back to me. I'm just going to click on me up here. Okay, I can see everything. So everyone, usually these are straight across, but since my window's condensed, they're not. There's my activities. These are the things that I have done this year. Okay, so I've enrolled, I've been approved for them. I can actually, right here, I can withdraw from it. So that one hadn't even happened yet. Okay, let's see here. Let me see this one. There's this one, and I can go and view my certificate. And what I did is I used one of the certificates that we use. My signature used to be up here, but now I've switched it to the headmaster's signature. And then I just went ahead and put the boxes, just like on a mail merge, and it just throws all of this stuff in here. So really on the picture is this certifies that, has fulfilled the requirements of, and then all of this down here. But it fills in the teacher's name, it fills in the workshop, it fills in the date, and it fills in the credit hours. And those are the things that the state requires for a teaching license to for this to count towards teacher licensure. Okay, and then the teachers, they can go print out a transcript that has all of this on it. So let's see, let me go back. So I'm going to go up to the top. Let's say I'm the teacher. I'm going to print out my transcript. So I used to print out PD logs for everybody at the end of the year with all their stuff. I don't have to do that anymore. So nice. Okay, so I'm just going to say events with credits earned. That's all I want. I want it as a PDF, or I could do Excel or CSV. I want to include my certificates and my attendance and everything. I'm just going to hit generate. And once I hit generate, it's going to create it for me. Then I can just download it as a PDF. And I can save each one of my certificates individually. And I actually teach my teachers, just go ahead and go download each of your certificates individually to begin with, so you don't have to separate them in this big long document. And then you can just upload them. And then I have workshops where the teachers go through here, and I'll show you where they sign up in just a minute, but they just go and enroll in it. Then I approve them once they've attended the workshop, and it generates a certificate. And if you want to, we used to have it to where they had to give feedback, to where they had to fill out a little survey first, then their certificate was generated. But we did away with that because it was just, teachers were sick of filling out all these things, and they just weren't even being honest anymore. They were just filling out anything. Okay, so we'll let that generate real quick.
Lynn, can I ask a question? So why, if it's all electronic, why do they have to download the certificates and then re-upload them? I'm confused.
No, the only certificates you have to upload them to the teacher, to the Tennessee Compass.
Oh, to their
Tennessee Compass,
I got you.
yeah. And
I thought you meant within this system.
okay, no. The only thing they actually have to upload is whenever a teacher wants to go to something, they go right here, and it's not at Briarcrest. They go request to attend an event, and they fill out a request to say, is it okay if I get credit for going to do this? A lot of times it's a conference far away, and the school needs to pay some money for it and that type of thing. So this is what they would do. They would put the title, they would put the description, they would put when it is, how many credit hours. You can do credits, hours, CEUs, in-service, graduate, and PDPs. Okay, and we've used the exact same system that the state of Tennessee does, and that one PDP, or one graduate hour equals 10 PDPs. That's what the state of Tennessee is. Then they mark all of these things, and what's good is once they mark the topic areas, the evaluators can go and run a report and say, okay, who all went to something having to do with reading in the past 5 years? And they can run a report that shows them everybody that went to something having to do with reading, just to get some data. What type it was?
So this is the professional development. It's two different.
Yes,
you subscribe to each separately, or is
you do. You subscribe to each separately, and I'll tell you what we pay. And it's cheaper, of course, the more you do. We pay basically $11. It's $11 or $12 for each per teacher per year. Okay, but it is well worth the money to not have to worry about any of the other stuff that we worry with. So we started with the PDP, or the professional development, last year, and then we moved to the other this year.
$12 for both, or
$12 for each. It'd be $24 if you use both. But my guess is most of you guys won't even use the professional development. I mean, you can if you want to. Most of you guys would probably want to use the evaluation tool more than anything. But you can also use it. It helps our teachers keep up with everything. Because once a teacher does this, they can then go and upload their certificate that they got. And then they don't have to worry about accidentally losing that certificate. And we will keep them in here forever because all of this is in the cloud. So, and all I ever do for a teacher that is left is archive them. And then I can just go and unarchive them quickly, print out what I need. Because I can't tell you how many teachers. I get at least 10 to 15 teachers a year, I guess because our system is so big, who email me and say, Lynn, can you please send me all my professional development that I've done? You know, I'm applying for a job wherever, and I can't seem to find one. Would you print it out for me? And I can just go print it out real quick and then archive them right back again. It's just a click box.
So do the teachers, did they buy into it? I know you said the administrators did.
Absolutely, because the other was so time intensive, especially on my end, but on my end and theirs. See, they don't have to keep up with the PD log. They don't have to do certificates. They have to do nothing. Everything is just right here for them.
And you might have already said this, but remind me, does your school require your teachers have a certain number of?
We do.
Okay,
Yeah, we have to have 6 hours of PDP outside of paid school hours.
okay.
And so we had them go and mark, we have tags, and when a teacher does a professional development, they have to mark whether it was technology, because 3 of those hours have to be technology or other or in service. And then we can go and run reports to see what everybody has done throughout the year.
Was the learning curve much to get everybody on board?
It was not any big deal at all. I mean, really, it was very, very easy to do just about
Did you
everything.
get someone to come down and walk our administrators through the things they've done?
Yeah, in fact, most of our administrators figured most of it out and didn't even, I went and I showed them what to do, and then I hardly heard anything from them. Because it's so easy to do, you can just kind of figure it out as you go. Yeah.
I apologize if you've
No,
already
it's
said
okay.
this, but in evaluation and the administrator puts in comments and that type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
that can go to the teacher?
Yes, the teacher sees
And can the
everything.
teacher then comment back and it goes back to the administrator?
Yes,
And
at
it's
the-
a conversation?
You can set it up any
Okay.
way you want. With the way we've got it is there at the bottom of our, other than the walkthroughs, that's the only thing we don't let them do a reflection or anything like that. But we've got a reflection section that they can reflect on anything that the evaluator has put in there. But once both of them sign it, that's it, it's done. So they've got to make sure if they're going to reflect on something, they better reflect on it before they hit that signature button, so that they can make sure. And they can attach, we've had a couple of teachers add a rebuttal because they didn't mark that they saw something, and then the teacher said, well, that was before you walked in the classroom. I did that, but it was before, you walked in late into the lesson and it was done before you walked in. And so they just put that down at the bottom, and then they attached the proof that they had done that to the bottom. Yeah,
Are
we had
these
some-
full class observations or just partial?
It depends. Sometimes it's full, sometimes it's partial. It just all, usually if it's a classroom observation, they're there from the beginning to the end. But if it's a walkthrough, of course, it's not. So,
Did you say what the cost is?
yeah, $12. For most of you guys, it'd probably be $12 because I think it cuts out 100 people.
Yeah,
Once you
okay.
get 100 people, that's when it goes to $11.
And you manage all of this for everybody?
I manage it for everybody.
So when anybody requests, PD outside of, you have to approve it?
I approve just about everything. They can put the principal down, or they can put me down. They've learned to put me down because the principal will take ages just to get back to them.
Right.
And so, but I can approve any PD for
So
anybody.
do you manage the budget for that as well?
No, if it requires money, they have to put it right down here at the very bottom. They have to put how the funding source, where the money's gonna come from, the cost of the program, and then put any other information down
They
here.
might have to have pre-approval before they even get to it.
And most people get pre-approval verbally, and then they'll put it in here.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's just easier if you're doing something like this, but they can do it either. I've seen it done both ways, especially at our high school level. A lot of them, they'll do everything through this because the principal's so busy and they're so busy they never can hook up. So this is their way of doing that. And then they won't put me as the evaluator, they put the principal as the evaluator. But if they're going to something in the evening, out in the community, they'll always put me as the evaluator. Then I just go and approve it. And then if they got a certificate, they can then upload the certificate. Yeah. But I get an email for everything. So if a teacher does something, I'll get an email stating there's PD waiting for your approval. And so that'll prompt me to go real quick. And it only takes me 30 seconds to log in, approve it, I'm done. And I've gotten to where I do it right when I see it, because if I wait, it'll go way down my email list and then I'll forget about it. But teachers get an email anytime anything is signed or anything. And I can go as an administrator, which is really nice. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead. I think I showed you all of this. I can go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to have to stay on this one. I can go as the administrator So I'm going to go to available events here. These are the events that I have made open to anybody. And you can see I've already enrolled in all of these. But if I hadn't enrolled, I could withdraw. Okay, if there was withdrawal there. Let's see here, April. Usually there's one I can withdraw from. Go to even more. You can withdraw from it if you decide you're not going to go to. Well, that's just the edit, where I can edit. And you can set things that are reoccurring. So if you've got a meeting that's every month at the exact same time, you can do that. I put in all of our grade level meetings. That way our teachers, if they're after school, so that our teachers can get PD credit for that. And it'll automatically print out a certificate for that. And some of them are only 45 minutes, but that's 45 minutes towards the 60 hours that you've got to have. You know.
How much time did it take you on the front end to set this up for your school?
It took me a couple of days. It's really, I already had it in a database. So really all I had to do is export it out of the database. But our information system would have gotten almost all of it. I could have exported out of our student information system and just imported it right in. And I actually didn't import anything. They imported it all. In fact, I got all my data from 2005, sent it to them, and they imported it all for everybody. So if I go up here and I look at all my years of PD, and I'm going to go to my activities, I may have to reset that. Okay, all years, you will see this goes back to, let's see here, there's 2018, I guess it's down here. This goes back to 2007. Okay, so it's got all of my PD in here for 2007. The only thing it won't do whenever you import is auto-generate certificates. So I still have to go back and do the certificates for people. Like I had to do it yesterday. A teacher, we've got a nationally board certified teacher, and she has to upload all of her certificates, so I had to go and print out all of the things for in-service. And by the way, if you don't know this, as private schools, our in-service counts towards recertification. So you can, as long as you've got a certificate. So I just have a certificate and a spreadsheet, and I'll just go switch the names to somebody else or go, put this together, and then I can give them certificates for anything that I don't print them. I just save them as PDFs and then send them to the teacher so that they've got it.
How much time a week are you devoting to
Some weeks, maybe, some weeks hardly at all, some weeks a couple hours. It all depends. That's rare. The only time I ever spend that much time is when I'm creating the sessions for everybody. Like all the preschool teachers just sent me all of their grade level meetings, so I've got to go and set those up, but it won't take me too terribly long to set them up because you set one up and then you just copy it and change the dates, which is nice.
So they sign up for this stuff, and what happens when the workshop or whatever occurs and they don't show up? Is there an attendance thing? Yeah,
see, I've got to go in. That's why we still keep, everybody has to sign into every workshop. I get the certificate, the sign-in sheet, and then I've got to go say who was there and who wasn't there.
So there's no way for the person who's conducting the workshop to mark it?
There is, okay, and they just added this. You can have a kiosk or whatever set up in the room whenever they get there, and they sign in, and it'll automatically enroll them and approve them. And it does everything. Say that again?
Like mobile device friendly?
Yeah, it's mobile device friendly. You can use it on anything. In fact, a couple of times teachers have needed stuff, and all I had was my cell phone, and so I just did it all on my cell phone. It's little.
Can I poll the group really quick and see how many of you require PD hours outside of school, like Briar Crest? Just nobody, but y'all okay?
And really, these days, you don't really even have to have it since our in-service counts. It's really not necessary because if you get certified every 6 hours, every 6 years now, and we get at least way over 10 hours a year in service, okay? And so that times 6 is your 60 hours. That's all you have to have, really.
Does in-service does that, you're talking about in-service period, like even if you have a whole day working in your room, that
Yeah.
counts?
No,
No.
it has to be an active meeting where you're learning some type of content.
Okay, but in
In
5
fact-
days, you probably have 2 hours each day. I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, what we do is on our calendar, even though we've got like 6 days of in-service at the beginning of the school year, just
Mhm.
before school starts, only 3 of those days are considered in-service days on the calendar.
Oh,
Okay, but
Okay.
we do in service each day, so what I do is I get those 3 days and count those 3 days, and then the state will not count it if it just says in service. You have to tell what you
what
did.
the session is, yeah.
So we have our keynote speaker, we have the president's speech, we have the bloodborne pathogens.
Yeah.
I put all of that listed on one day, and then a bunch of stuff listed on
Yeah.
another day, and a bunch of stuff listed on another day. And the state has accepted those.
Okay.
We've had quite a few of our teachers just get recertified or re-licensed, and they accepted those without a problem. Yeah. So making those old certificates is really what takes me the longest amount of time, since you have to have those certificates. But I've got all the templates made, I just have to do it. Yeah, if you want to be certified now, you better do it.
I haven't, and my license slipped.
Me too, but
My license was
Ours is
Mine is slipped, and what they told me that I have to go through to get
What do you
ready.
do?
You have to
I
take
told
your
Dawn-
praxis.
I told Dawn, I was like, so, if St. George's fires me, guess what? I'm gonna be a reader at Walmart. I mean, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing it.
We're not doing it.
Even with your masters?
Yes, even though
Yeah,
I'm a
masters does not make any difference
And the
anymore.
school saying you've worked there for this
Yep.
many years,
Yep.
they're like, no.
It does not make any difference.
I'm gonna
They
tell
don't
you
care.
that my teachers that just got recertified, that is all I've heard for the past 3 months, is how much work they have done to get all of this. And so
I
it's
do
not-
3 workshops a year just on recertifications for our teachers.
Well, and that's the thing, they come to me, they're like, do you remember that one time? And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I shouldn't say this. Don't listen, Facebook Live. But I'm just like, here you go.
Your school's not making you.
No,
I'm just trying to keep it.
No. You're right, the school is not.
Yeah, that,
But I have to
yeah.
make certificates.
Yeah, I mean, our teachers don't have
All
to
the
do
time.
that
That
either.
I totally can't say that I know that they were there.
Exactly.
Do it.
I have to trust, yeah,
Yeah.
because we trust our teachers because they're honest. I don't-
Well, we've had so many teachers who have,
Yeah.
we've had so many teachers who have moved, and they
Yeah.
come back and say, Lynn, thank you so much for making us do that PD and and keeping up with our license. By the way, this program keeps up with your license also. So it will let you know
Yeah, that
every
one
year
works.
whose license needs to be.
Mine was 2 years after I realized it's flat.
Yeah.
Like,
So in the past, because I was actually talking to our head of school the other day about this, because some of our teachers that have a license and want to keep it, want to go through the process, right? And she was like, oh, no, you know, I just write a letter saying that they've met this and blah, 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 and then it's fine, and that's worked in the past. Are you saying that that no longer works?
No,
I don't think that works anymore.
no,
It has, though. It
no,
has.
everything
She's
changed
not in the
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Everything changed 2 years ago.
I guess I got in right before you changed.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fine.
I signed it, uploaded it, and I'm good to
When did you do that, Jessica?
It has to be about 2 years ago because,
Because I did mine before I left Bartlett, and it was just a form.
Yeah,
That's all I do, that's all.
Yeah, that's.
yeah, you,
Got into the deadline.
but see,
But it has expired.
no, and your license is 10 years if you got under that, if you got in under
And
that.
I'm good till 2026.
Right, see, but if you didn't, then yours is gonna be 6. Well, here, let me tell you this real quick.
dang it.
You guys are welcome to come to my workshop that I'm doing. Let's see, here it is right here.
March 6th.
March the 6th at 3:30 at our high school, I am doing a renewing your Tennessee teacher license if anybody wants to come.
Can our teachers come to that?
We open our stuff up to anybody who wants to come.
What is it, March 6th?
It's March the 6th
What
from
time?
3:30 until 5 o'clock at the high school.
Okay.
And
Here would
anybody's
be
welcome
something
to
to
come.
tell Teach Point. If you sold all of us on this and we get on it, could we have a shared library of PD?
Yeah.
I'll bet
Would
you.
that be great?
Yeah.
Okay, and I will tell you this, I was telling her this, I have never had a company with better tech support than Teach Point. They email me once a month and say, Lynn, just call in just email in to see how things are going.
Great.
Yeah.
That's important.
I'm like, what? Yeah, they do. And here's the thing, I'll think of things that I need. Like, we needed something not too long ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot, because I never have time to call them, you know, or never have time to email them. And so that prompted me to go, yes. Okay, and our thing was, you can't sign up for anything if you're not in the system. Well, we have various trainings that our business office, facilities, those types of people need to come to. They're not in the system. So I tell it, and by the way, you can have a cutoff and a wait list. Okay? So I told it to cut off at 26 when really some of these other people added on that weren't in the system. So I've asked them if I can add people that aren't in our system that we don't want to track. They just need to save a spot. And so hopefully they're making that happen and switching it. And they're constantly updating their system. I mean, this year was a humongous overhaul from last year.
Okay, so I'm sorry, go ahead. Who's speaking?
Is it all or none, or can you buy pieces of this?
You can either buy
PD
or you can buy evaluation. There's two different parts to it.
I would be interested.
Yeah, it's $12 a person.
If you're over 100.
So you pay $24 a person?
So if you
But I'm telling you, do you know how many hours of productivity it is saving us? I mean, it is saving us so many hours
I
of
just figured it's about
productivity.
7,200 for our school.
It is so well worth every cent that we're putting into it. And it comes out of the headmaster's office. The headmaster's who's paying for it out of her budget.
Totally come out of our budget. It could totally come out of our budget.
Because those are the ones that I got hooked on it. And they're like, we like this.
But I would think, I'm just thinking in terms of like return on your investment, because I would have to prove that if we were to take on something like this. And I mean, obviously, if there's a requirement and they're tracking their PD, they're having to do it. Like, we've never had a requirement before, but we're also going into this new year, we have this like strategic training plan I'm supposed to be making right this second. So I'm thinking something like this would be ideal, and your return on your investment obviously would be that your teachers are getting all this extra training that they wouldn't otherwise be required to do.
Well, and you can even put, like, I can put all in-service in there myself. So each division has to give me who was there on in-service day and who wasn't. I just add everybody, then go and take out the people who weren't there. And it's very easy to do. And that way they have to do nothing. It's just there for them one day.
So those things that like Jill Roca sends about the TAIS events that are all around, do you input all of those, or do you only put the ones then that your teachers say they're going to?
I only input stuff that we do at Briarcrest, and they have to input their own stuff if they're going someplace else. I only do my stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So the only stuff I've done this year is stuff that you actually see on this evaluation.
Yeah. Well, and I also think it would make our teachers more aware of, besides those, emails that come and you're just kind of like, I don't have time for it. If we knew we had to get X number of hours, which our teachers don't, but for licensure, say, here's all the stuff and these are the 3 things closest to me. It'd be great to have a shared library.
Could other people, like if the high school principal was going to run a workshop, could they put their own stuff in, or do you have to do it all?
Absolutely, yeah, because all of them are administrators as well.
And you can make whomever you want.
Whoever you want can be an administrator.
But John, of course, we will be creating it for you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Now, just like she said, they don't. I input just about everything. We only have 2 people who are full evaluator or full administrators. That's me and the headmaster. We can literally see and do everything in here. Okay? Everybody else can only evaluate and see whoever they're evaluating.
Do you think that it's something? You're talking about it's user friendly enough, and do you think it's user friendly enough for like the administrators and administrative assistants to take care of?
It is. I'm telling you, it is so.
That's who our administrators would want taking care of it. Would be their administrative assistants, so they could keep everything.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It is very, very user friendly. I mean, I just found this looking on the web, and I found 3 different ones. I think I've found a couple of companies you guys are doing, using it here, but this was by far included everything we were looking for. And by the way, you can, if certain people, like we had a CPR workshop the other day, I needed to send all those people an email. I just went, opened up the roster, and I could click the button up here and it emails all those people whatever I want to email. or it'll email them a reminder, or it'll email them whatever I want to do, just whoever's in that course, whoever signed up for it. Yeah, they're just constantly adding all these little bells and whistles, which is nice.
Cool.
Yeah, any other questions? Okay.
Excellent.
That was
All
really
right.
good. Great,
Very
Lynn.
well.
Thank you. This was the best I could.
That is no problem.
I have to say, you scared me a little bit about my license.
Mine expires nothing. Mine expires this year.
I think you got enough proof. I saw that $525
Yeah.
you showed.
Yeah. Yeah, I make sure if I do a workshop, I give myself credit for it as
Yeah.
well.
And didn't it used to, if you actually presented, you got like credit and a half or something?
Yeah, but they don't do
They
that
don't
anymore. Yeah, by the way, if you present, you don't get extra credit anymore, just like you know. Used to, you did. No more.
Yeah. Forget all that.
Sorry.
Put it into it. You can be a vegetable. Sit there.
Yeah.
Okay, so, a topic that just came up this morning that Lynn shared with me, Joe Hillenbrand has come up with an idea that he wanted our group to consider. So from what I understand, he's saying that, there's a lot of technical people, that don't necessarily come to our group because we tend to spend a lot of our time talking about instruction and administrative type things. And so what he is asking, he sent to Lynn this document here and was asking about sort of them being able to form a sub-umbrella under MAIS TEC of the technical side where they meet, but there would not be dues, there would be membership, like, I guess, in some way. And they're looking at more like lunch meetings and bringing in vendors and things that, they look for purchasing and different types of things, a little bit different. What are y'all's thoughts? It says to create a group of like-minded peers, engaged businesses with small IT teams to discuss trends, share ideas, product ideas, yada yada. Must be, there was sort of like a LinkedIn group. We would like the meetings to be live and in a designated location. These are some of the topics that they're considering, so.
Sounds to me like that just needs to go through MAIS, not us. If it involves other people other than IT.
Well,
That would be an
Yeah.
offshoot of MAIS, like we are.
But they're wanting to include businesses in public, or in municipalities, which I don't
No,
think.
they're not gonna do that.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that.
That's not MAIS's mission.
He's gonna have to
I
start.
don't know,
a whole
I just
group.
found out this morning that he was asking about
He's
this.
gonna.
Billy, when Billy left, I asked Billy one time, I said, why do you not go to the MAIS meetings? And he said, years ago, I was not around, he said, years ago, they tried, and he said, then none of them come.
Yep. What was it, 3 years ago? We tried to do the breakout session.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we say they can't come.
Well, here's what Joe said, because he actually called me and talked to me on the telephone. He said that this time of morning is awful for IT people. It's really bad, that lunch would be a lot better for them, and he would rather them meet separately for lunch rather than doing it in the morning.
Well, what
Because
if
they
he
just can't come.
What if he just?
Stay as a MAIS TEC group.
Well, what if he? Yeah, we start with the MAIS TEC schools. He starts there and builds his base of IT. The other tech people, or whatever they want to call them, they build their from us, from our MAIS TEC group, and then, then if they want to talk about, but if they start with us, and because our people know us, and so if I tell my tech guys, and I'm like, hey Pete, hey Kevin, this would be a great resource for you to go spend your lunch with them.
Yes.
But
I think that's our main job, is giving them the contacts and talking it up.
But I think you should start with the MAIS TEC schools and
Not bring in business.
branch out as of yet. Build your core group.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's another thing that I've heard, that, we're not, what we do with kids, trying resources and all this kind of stuff, it's not really competitive. It's good teaching practices.
Right.
But what they do is a little more proprietary and secretive and far, although some of them share, but I don't know. My thoughts is if he wants to do this, let him organize this himself. I mean, I don't know why we have to be involved in this.
Bobby has always been so great to share. We've gone through with your group, that, Winston and them were great to share. I've never had a problem with them not answering something.
He would love y'all to take him to lunch. But he doesn't come.
Right. Well, now they used to.
He used to.
Yeah, he used to
come. Lunch, I used to come all the time.
But I wouldn't go if this group only talked about infrastructure and whatever those words, I don't know what they mean. I mean, I wouldn't come. I'd be like, how do I teach the kids? So I get why they don't come, and they need to learn a group, but, I mean, I personally think if he wants us to talk it up, because he may not know Peter Climbing from that hole in the wall, and so if he wants us to talk it up with our IT people, let him organize it, and we'll just invite the people we know.
Or just send an email through the group. I know Bobby still pulls the group all the time.
That's
through
true.
the email.
Yeah,
when he has
that's true.
questions, and the people that respond are the people that have the answer. So he gets lots of.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't think all of them are on.
Well, if you put them on,
Maybe they could just be on the.
Not all the IT
email.
guys are.
well, can we put them on the attendance list so we have their contacts?
Our guys are on there.
Yeah, our guys are on there.
Our guys are on there.
Abby has something. I would love for him to start and us start with MAIS Tech, because that's the reason why our tech guys don't come, and like, there's many a time I'll say, well, what's so-and-so doing, what's so-and-so doing, and, sometimes they don't wanna call, they don't wanna pick up the phone and call and do it. And I don't know if it's a being very, gender thing, I don't know if it's a man thing, but they don't wanna call and ask somebody.
That's what I was trying to say a while ago. I don't think they want to do it. He may want to do it, but I think most of them don't want to share and do all that. That's just my impression.
I don't think that they don't want to share. I would.
Well, so why don't they call then?
Trying to go to a lunch.
Because they're supposed to figure it out on their own, so they don't want to ask. We're all like.
That's my impression.
Exactly.
Whereas we're all like. hey,
I
you know,
agree 100% with Amanda. If he wants to organize it, great. We should advertise it to our people, great. But I think that would be the extent of our involvement in that.
So maybe Lynn, tell him, he's welcome to, people send him contacts.
Give us the info and we'll sell it to our people.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will endorse the subgroup. We're just not really gonna be affiliated with it. We're just gonna endorse it and tell our IT people about it.
Well, I think if it stays within
The MAIS, the MAI has
if it gets
schools.
rid of the public and it gets rid of the small area businesses and small IT
Some of that, I think
teams,
he's.
that,
See, I think those
That's
would
the
just
only
be
way we could-
presenters.
Well, I'm
No, it
telling
says
you,
things as vendors.
those presenters will pay for their lunch any day of the week.
Right.
I had one in my office yesterday and said, John, why don't y'all let vendors present and we'll pay you for your breakfast every time. So they will do that for them. If that's what they want to do at lunch, they can have a vendor come pay for their lunch every time. I promise you that.
That'll get my IT people then.
Okay,
So did you get your answer?
I would
Okay, I
think though,
did.
if they're gonna be an offshoot of us, and it's a member school that does not pay dues, they need to pay dues.
I agree with that. I think that it's
Yeah.
If they're gonna be called MAIS Tech, techies or
Yeah.
whatever, they need to pay dues to this organization.
I agree with that.
I feel like anyone that is on our
Because
dues
it's
list
one,
could be
it's not
invited.
a fee per person, it's
Right.
$30 a
Per
school.
school.
That is so cheap.
I mean, that includes them.
Yeah, it includes your tech people, your
Right.
IT people, your whoever.
Network.
well, and even our end of the year thing, maybe we could get all of us together for, the end of the year thing, and we could get more people coming from our schools and participating more.
Or if they want to have the first meeting, we can come. I mean, I'm happy to bring my guys.
yeah, like the first and last meeting or something.
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And then the rest are,
Be a little filler, so they aren't just walking in cold.
Yeah.
We'll make Bobby talk about something that's gonna really excite him.
Yes, that's what we'll do.
We can.
And
Yeah, fall asleep.
he's welcoming, and
Yeah.
I'm happy to come up.
He can talk for the whole meeting if you wanted to.
Lynn, do you wanna go back and talk to him about the
Yeah.
discussion and kind of
Yeah,
what
I'll do it.
everybody's thinking, and then let him think some more, and then he can let us know.
okay, yeah. That sounds good.
All right. All right, back to our agenda. So, next month is Innovate Ed. Lynn, once again, would you like to talk?
Innovative.
I told her this is her meeting really today.
You want to talk about Innovative?
Innovative.
Oh, Innovative, yeah. Let me talk about it real quick.
I got you, boo.
Okay,
Redid the website.
Yeah, Wikispaces is closing, guys. Did you know that? It's crazy. So they're gonna stop as of this summer. There's no Wikispaces. So I recreated this on the MAIS TEC site, okay? Or on the MAIS TEC through the portal, the Google portal. The only thing I'm messed up with is I copied and pasted 17 on 16, 15, and 17.
It was a great year.
So yeah, it was a great year. People did the same thing 3 years in a row. Okay, and they've already deleted the site, so I don't know if we'll be able to go and copy and paste the other ones, but that's okay. I did have them go ahead and delete the old site so there wasn't a confusion with the new site. So go ahead and send this out to your teachers. All you need to do is copy and paste this information in that column right there to them. I'll try to still send something out. I just haven't had a chance yet. And so make sure that you do that. If you see anything on here that needs to be changed, let us know. But we need presenters ASAP so we can go ahead and get this going. So try to get at least, if all of you guys could get 2 to 3 people at your schools to present, that would be fabulous. And we're going to try to get the majority of our teachers to actually go to it. I'm hoping we'll have a lot of people this year. I think since it's out in that area, maybe, I don't know, we'll get a few more people than we would have gotten.
And that's on that link is on the minutes?
It's in the minutes,
Okay,
yes,
great.
in the minutes. And it's kind of a long web address, but that's just the way it is when you go through Google.
Did you see my comment about the previous years?
Yeah, she said that.
Yeah, I copied and pasted.
Okay.
What I did is I did one and then I duplicated the page, but I forgot to change it out. But they've already deleted the website, the old website. So I'll just probably go and delete 15 and 16. We'll just have 17 up there. So.
And Jessica,
What about the Wayback Machine? You could maybe access it there.
oh, that's a good idea.
Website.
Okay.
Try it.
Okay, I'll try and see if we can get it. And then I did it to where everybody has to use the contact. I didn't put anybody's email address up here, okay? Because you know how those spiders are, they go and grab everything. And so the vendors have to hit the contact and fill out that information. It actually goes to our info at maistech.com and comes straight to me if they want to do something. And then I've got a map and all that. So it's at our middle school is where it's located. So you'll just go to the middle school and there's a arrow pointing to where the middle school is on our campus out of Houston Levitt. So, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for the committee for helping out so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, questions?
So it's, as you can see the countdown, 34 days, so I guess it's time to start talking with teachers. All right, so next on our agenda is, I guess we're talking about the nominating committee.
The nominating committee was really good.
Jane, yeah, you'll be next. All right, Jane, go ahead, since about the nominating.
Nominating committee got together and,
I put it
we
up.
have a slate already for you.
There it is, yes.
That's the first time, y'all, I think in the last, I don't know, 12, 15 years, we've had a slate this early, people are willing to do this.
So this is the slate of officers for next year.
Next year, John
And
Simi is president.
at the end of the year, we do not have a May meeting because of our field trip, so we will probably do a vote by survey again like we did last year.
It'll have to be just those that are at the May meeting. That's what, either we can, like, when we're standing here at Crosstown or something,
Pardon
we'll just
me.
say,
Well,
call the
so
meeting.
call
Name
the
and vote.
field trip.
At lunch, we're having a meeting.
Yeah.
Lunch, we're having a meeting on that day, and
Now, it's only those
Put the
schools
short
that are
agenda.
paid that can vote, isn't that correct?
yes.
Right, only those that are there that are paid can vote.
Present and paid.
Okay, so, if you have any problems with this list, let Jane and them know.
Yeah, speak up now, because you'll be the next one on.
I think it's a great list.
I think it's a great.
I'm excited. Okay, so our next, our April is the Innovate Ed, so we do not meet next month. And then May 4th is our Crosstown High and Tech 901 field trip, which Sarah has done a great job of organizing. I'm gonna let her tell more details about that.
So Ginger Spickler, who I don't even know what her official title is down there, but this is her grandchild,
tour across town high and then do a question and answer. And then from 9:45 to 10:30, they wanted to pick our brains about tech stuff, so I told them we'd be glad to do that. Then we will do Tech 901 tour, and then we're gonna take a little tour of the whole crosstown concourse, and then break for lunch on our own. I didn't think we would arrange a big group lunch because I thought that'd be too complicated. So there's lots of options there, so everybody can kind of go where they want for lunch. But parking's free. Park in the garage. We're gonna meet in the central atrium. It should be a fun morning.
So I will send out a survey, because y'all know I love surveys.
Part of that thing, we'll just do it during one of those times to vote. Like when we get together.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of the feedback session, because I'm sure that's not take that long.
Yeah. Okay, I'll send out a survey, here soon, and then that way we can give them a number of coming to expect, so that if, when we went to the Delta school, we had 30, no,
We had a lot.
we had a lot of people. So, I just want to make sure that they can be prepared for if people decide to bring other people from their school. So I'll send that out again and kind of put it together so Sarah can let them know about that. But I'm excited. I have not been down there yet, and I've seen pictures.
I haven't either.
Social media, but I haven't actually seen anything. There's our professional development, if anybody's added anything. And pretty much that's.
The social committee?
Oh, yes.
Met. And, we are still gonna have it Las Delicias on that Thursday, April the 26th, from 4:30 to 6:30 in a room. 4:30 to 6:30, and we are hoping to cover it out of our dues. So I'll talk to Lena to make sure that all works. I kind of included that because we just did some pictures of margaritas, and then
I was also thinking, what if every school brought a door prize? Just one. Every school brings something. A door prize.
It's fun. Fun.
And it doesn't have to be very much.
like Dirty Santas.
Yeah, that would be fun. Oh, that'd be a lot of fun.
Now you might have another.
Do we want to do every person or every? Rather than
We could do a funny one. That would be funny. Is to bring like some silly one. Bring one funny one, one real, one silly.
Well, why don't I say every school brings something substantial? If you want to bring something small yourself, you're welcome to do that.
And it'll be just like chips, dip, quesadillas, pictures of drinks. Yes, guacamole, cheese dip, chip salsa, steak and chicken quesadillas.
Amen.
Okay, I think we are ready for door prizes. If everybody has given
Oh,
their.
no, I haven't given my
And
slip.
everybody,
Do you have a-
Lynn, thank you so much for all your work for today's meeting.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was great. I'll be sharing it with my school, I know.
Oh, good.
Real quick on the social, I think I'll send out an e-bike closer too, so we sort of have a number, because I'm quoting 25. Yep.
We'll have one. We decided to go with a bigger door prize. So it's another dot, which is very nice. And so we have 2 more of these. I bought these on Black Friday. We have 2 more, and then a few other little things that we're going to do at Innovate Ed. So we'll have 2 of these at Innovate Ed. So tell your teachers, you may want to put that on the thing that will be door prizes.
Okay. We know what John's door prize is a social committee.
Okay, we'll let Justin roll on here since he's closest right there. Check him up.
Lena.
So, are we ready to adjourn?
Yep, I moved to
Good,
adjourn.
all right.
Second.
Y'all, thank you for coming. And perfect. Just after 10.